Every week, the average household cracks open a dozen eggs. The whites and yolks go into omelets, scrambles, baked goods, and breakfast plates. The shells go into the trash. And if the eggs were boiled, the cooking water goes down the drain. That water, cloudy and warm and unremarkable, contains dissolved calcium leached from the shells during boiling, plus amino acids and proteins that dissolved from the thin membrane lining the inside of each shell. It's a mild but genuine liquid fertilizer that tomato plants will absorb through their roots within hours of application, and you just poured it into the sewer. But saving the boiling water is only the beginning of what an egg can do for your garden, and it's actually the least effective of the three methods this video covers. The real power of the eggshell, the method that produces a calcium concentration rivaling commercial products that cost $10 to $15 a bottle, involves a jar, some vinegar, and about 2 weeks of patience. By the end of this video, you'll have 3 egg-derived feeding methods ranked from simple to potent. You'll understand why the most common eggshell gardening advice is almost completely useless, and you'll know more about calcium in tomatoes than most of the articles and videos that currently dominate the search results on this topic. Let's start with what an eggshell actually is, chemically, because once you understand this, the connection to one of the most important videos in this entire series becomes obvious. An eggshell is 95 to 97% calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate, the same compound that makes up agricultural limestone. The same compound in the pelletized garden lime that this series covered in detail in the hardware store mineral video. The same compound that corrects soil pH, unlocks nutrient availability, prevents aluminum toxicity, and eliminates the blossom end rot that torments tomato growers everywhere. When you hold an eggshell in your hand, you're holding a small, curved piece of lime. The chemistry is identical. The only differences are the form factor and the particle size. And as we'll see, particle size is everything when it comes to whether the calcium actually reaches your plants. The remaining 3 to 5% of the shell is a matrix of proteins, mostly in the form of the shell membrane, plus small amounts of magnesium carbonate, phosphorus, and over a dozen trace minerals including strontium, fluorine, and manganese. The membrane, the thin translucent film that lines the inside of the shell and sometimes peels away when you crack a hard-boiled egg, is particularly interesting for garden use. It's composed of collagen-like proteins and glycoproteins that, when dissolved in hot water, break down into amino acids, the building blocks of proteins that soil microorganisms use as a direct food source and that plant roots can absorb in small quantities through their cell membranes. Method 1 is the simplest and requires nothing more than not pouring water down the drain. When you boil eggs, the hot water in contact with the shells dissolves a small amount of calcium carbonate from the shell surface. The amount is modest, perhaps 10 to 20 milligrams of calcium per egg per boiling session, but it's in dissolved form, which means it's immediately available to plant roots when the water is applied to soil. The membrane proteins also dissolve partially during boiling, releasing amino acids into the water. The result is a pale, slightly cloudy liquid that contains dissolved calcium, amino acids, and trace minerals in dilute but plant-available form. To use it, simply let the boiling water cool to room temperature after removing the eggs. Don't add salt to the water before boiling if you plan to use it for plants, as sodium in the soil is harmful. Pour the cooled egg water directly onto the soil around your tomato plants, peppers, squash, or any fruiting crop. Use it the same day if possible, because the amino acids in the water will begin to spoil and develop an unpleasant odor if stored for more than a day or two at room temperature. If you boil eggs multiple times per week, you're generating a steady supply of mild liquid calcium that would otherwise go to waste. Is this method going to transform your garden single-handedly? No. The calcium concentration from simple boiling is low, but it's free, it's immediate, and over a season of regular application, the cumulative calcium delivery adds up. It's also a gateway to the more potent methods. Method 2 is eggshell tea, and it delivers substantially more calcium than plain boiling water because you're using crushed shells as the infusion source rather than just the residual leaching from intact shells during a brief boil. Save your eggshells. After cracking eggs for any purpose, rinse the shells briefly to remove residual egg white, which can attract pests if left to decompose, and let them dry. You can accumulate dried shells in a bowl on the counter, a jar in the pantry, or a bag in the freezer. When you have 10 to 20 shells, roughly 1 to 2 weeks of a household's egg consumption, crush them by hand or with a rolling pin into small fragments. The smaller the better. Drop the crushed shells into a gallon jar or bucket of water, cover loosely, and let the mixture steep overnight, or for up to 48 hours if you want a stronger concentration. During the steeping period, the water slowly dissolves calcium carbonate from the shell fragments. The dissolution rate is proportional to the surface area of the shell material in contact with water, which is why crushing the shells matters. Whole half shells floating in water dissolve very little calcium because only the outer surface contacts the water. Crushed fragments expose far more surface area, accelerating the dissolution. After overnight steeping, strain out the shell fragments and use the calcium-enriched water to drench the soil around your tomato plants. The residual shell fragments can go back into the jar for a second steeping, which will extract additional calcium, or they can be added to your compost pile, worm bin, or directly to the garden bed where they'll continue dissolving slowly over time. A University of Georgia Extension experiment tested the calcium delivery of different eggshell methods by mixing each into depleted soil, letting them interact for 2 weeks, and then sending the soil to a lab for analysis. The eggshell tea roughly doubled the available calcium compared to the untreated control. Crumbled shells slightly outperformed the tea, but finely ground eggshell powder dramatically outperformed both, increasing available calcium by several 100%. The conclusion was clear. The finer the particle size, the more calcium is released into the soil within a given time frame. This brings us to Method 3, which is the most effective and the one that justifies the title of this video. If you've been following this channel, you know that the best solutions are usually the simplest. If you're new here, subscribe now because this method turns kitchen waste into a product that matches commercial calcium sprays at zero cost, and the chemistry is genuinely elegant. Grind your dried eggshells into a fine powder. A coffee grinder, a blender, a mortar and pestle, or even a plastic bag and a rolling pin will do the job. The goal is a consistency as fine as flour. The finer the powder, the more surface area, the faster and more complete the calcium release. Place 3 to 4 tablespoons of eggshell powder into a clean glass jar. Add 1 cup of apple cider vinegar or plain white vinegar. The moment the vinegar contacts the eggshell powder, a visible chemical reaction begins. The liquid fizzes and bubbles vigorously. What you're watching is a neutralization reaction. The acetic acid in the vinegar is reacting with the calcium carbonate in the eggshell to produce calcium acetate, water, and carbon dioxide gas. The bubbles are the CO2 escaping. The calcium carbonate, which is insoluble in water and therefore unavailable to plant roots in its raw form, is being converted into calcium acetate, which is fully water-soluble and immediately plant-available. Let the reaction continue until the fizzing stops completely, which may take 24 to 48 hours, depending on the fineness of the powder and the strength of the vinegar. If you still see undissolved powder at the bottom after the fizzing stops, add a splash more vinegar and wait another day. When the reaction is complete, the liquid in the jar is a concentrated solution of calcium acetate plus whatever amino acids and trace minerals dissolved from the shell material during the acid treatment. This solution is acidic and concentrated. Before applying it to your garden, dilute it at a ratio of 1 part calcium solution to 5 parts water. The diluted solution can be applied as a soil drench around the base of tomato plants, peppers, squash, and other calcium-demanding crops. It can also be applied as a foliar spray, misted onto the leaves in the early morning when stomata are open, and the leaf surfaces can absorb dissolved minerals directly. Foliar application delivers calcium to the plant faster than soil application because it bypasses the root uptake pathway entirely, putting the calcium directly onto the leaf surface, where it's absorbed through the cuticle and stomata within hours. For blossom end rot prevention specifically, foliar spray during the flowering and early fruiting stage is the most effective timing. This is when the plant's calcium demand is highest, because calcium is needed for cell wall construction in the rapidly developing fruit tissue. Spray every 1 to 2 weeks from first flower through early fruit set. The cost comparison to commercial products is stark. A bottle of commercial calcium spray containing calcium chloride or calcium acetate in a dilute solution with a garden-themed label costs $10 to $15 and treats perhaps 20 to 30 plants. The eggshell vinegar method produces the same active ingredient, calcium in water-soluble form, from materials that cost nothing because they're kitchen waste, and a splash of vinegar that costs pennies per batch. A single batch treats every tomato plant in an average garden. The chemistry is identical. The effectiveness is equivalent. The price difference is the entire cost of the commercial product. Now for the myth that catches more gardeners than any other eggshell claim. The idea that scattering crushed eggshells on the soil surface or mixing them into your planting hole provides meaningful calcium to your plants. It doesn't, or rather it does, but on a time scale that's measured in years, not weeks. Calcium carbonate is insoluble in water at neutral pH. That's why limestone formations stand for millions of years in the rain without dissolving. The same chemistry that makes limestone durable makes whole or coarsely crushed eggshells almost completely inert in garden soil over the time frame of a single growing season. The calcium is locked inside the crystal structure of the shell material, and without either an acid to dissolve it or microbial activity intense enough to weather it over months, the calcium stays locked. Research has confirmed what common sense suggests. Eggshell fragments placed on the soil surface or mixed into the top few inches remain visually recognizable after months, sometimes years, depending on the size of the fragments and the biological activity of the soil. The calcium release from whole or coarsely crushed shells over a single growing season is negligible compared to the plant's calcium demand during active fruiting. This is why the particle size and the dissolution method matter so much. Grinding shells into fine powder increases the surface area by orders of magnitude compared to crushed fragments. Dissolving the powder in vinegar converts the insoluble calcium carbonate into soluble calcium acetate. Each step, grinding and dissolving, transforms the eggshell from an inert, decorative, calcium-shaped object sitting on the soil surface into an active, immediately available nutrient source that roots can absorb within hours. There's one more nuance about blossom end rot that even the eggshell-aware gardener often misses, and it connects directly to the heatwave watering video earlier in the series. Blossom end rot is caused by calcium deficiency in the developing fruit tissue. This is established science, but the deficiency isn't always caused by insufficient calcium in the soil. In many cases, the soil has plenty of calcium. The problem is transportation. Calcium moves through the plant exclusively in the xylem, the water-conducting tissue that carries water and dissolved minerals upward from the roots. Calcium cannot be redistributed once it's deposited in a cell. It doesn't move from old leaves to new fruit. Every cell that forms in the developing tomato must receive its calcium from the xylem stream at the moment of cell formation. If the xylem flow is interrupted or reduced for any reason during the critical cell division phase of early fruit development, the cells that form during that interruption won't receive adequate calcium. Those cells develop thin, weak walls that eventually collapse, producing the dark, sunken lesion at the blossom end of the fruit. What interrupts xylem flow? Inconsistent watering. A tomato plant that's well watered on Monday, dry on Tuesday, drenched on Wednesday, and wilting on Thursday. Experiences fluctuations in xylem flow that create intermittent calcium delivery gaps. Each gap produces a ring of calcium-deficient cells in the developing fruit. If enough gaps accumulate, the blossom end rots. This means that preventing blossom end rot requires two things working together: adequate calcium in the soil, which eggshell methods help provide, and consistent, deep watering that maintains steady xylem flow, which the Heatwave video's deep and infrequent watering protocol provides. Adding calcium without fixing the watering won't solve BR. Fixing the watering without adequate calcium won't solve it either. Both factors must be addressed simultaneously. The egg water trick handles the calcium half of this equation at zero cost. The deep watering technique handles the transport half. Together, they eliminate blossom end rot more reliably than any single commercial product because they address the two independent causes simultaneously. The eggshell is just the beginning of what your kitchen sends down the drain every day. Pasta water, starchy and slightly alkaline, feeds soil bacteria when poured on garden beds. Rice wash water, the cloudy liquid from rinsing rice before cooking, is the starting material for the lactic acid bacteria serum covered in the kitchen ferment video. Vegetable blanching water, the liquid left over from briefly boiling vegetables for freezing or cooking, contains dissolved vitamins and minerals leached from the vegetables during the blanching process. Even the water from rinsing canned beans, which contains dissolved oligosaccharides and minerals, has value as a mild liquid feed. Every one of these liquids currently goes down the drain in most kitchens. Together, they constitute a continuous, free, diverse stream of liquid amendments that, over a growing season, delivers calcium, amino acids, starches, vitamins, and lactic acid bacteria to your garden soil without a single trip to the garden center or a single dollar spent. Your grandmother saved her kitchen water for the garden, not because she understood the chemistry of calcium acetate or the microbiology of lactobacillus, because she understood that nothing from the kitchen was waste. Everything had a use. Everything went back to the soil that grew the food that filled the kitchen. The loop was closed. The garden fed the family fed the garden. No products required, no bottles needed. The egg water trick is one small loop in that system, but it's the one you can start today with the next pot of eggs you boil. And the calcium your tomatoes receive tonight is the calcium they'll use to build the fruit you pick next month. If this video changed how you think about what goes down your kitchen drain, the video on screen right now covers the complete kitchen fermentation system that turns every scrap your household produces into the most potent free soil amendment available. Same kitchen, same scraps, different bucket.